the scale of the disaster, how much damage caused to infrastructure, to people's lives, and of course the high death toll is what makes this disaster so significant. A lot of my doctoral research was on Typhoon Haiyan, which struck in 2013 in the central islands of the Philippines. And Typhoon Haiyan is significant because it's the strongest storm ever recorded. It caused a significant amount of damage. The official death toll was over 6,000, but those that I've talked to on the ground say that the numbers are much closer to 10,000 to 20,000. There was a 7-meter high storm surge that swept through Tacloban City, which was at the epicenter of this disaster, and that contributed to a lot of deaths. And it also contributes to a lot of displacement. We're not at a point in scientific research to say one specific disaster has been caused by climate change. But what we can say is that perhaps Typhoon Haiyan, the intensity of it was increased as a result of climate change.
A disaster is not an extraordinary incident for most people in South Asia. It's a part of their everyday lives.
About 20 typhoons a year visit the Philippines. That's a lot of typhoons in combination with earthquakes and volcanoes. So it's a country that is used to disasters in a way. And coping with disasters has been normalized, as some people say, in the sense that they know when it's coming, they know what to do, and they know how to recover quickly. However, the conversation is changing after Typhoon Haiyan because people are being increasingly worried that disasters in the future aren't going to be like disasters in the past. About 4 million people were internally displaced as a result of Typhoon Haiyan. And many people who were displaced got relocated to very poor temporary housing, which caused a lot of people to live together in a small space. And there were many reports of sexual harassment, sexual assault, just very unsafe living environments in these places. And then when they get moved to more permanent housing that is supposed to be resilient, sustainable, and made of concrete, they were often very far away from the city center. So about an hour away with very infrequent transportation, which meant that a lot of people did not have jobs or could not keep their jobs. So these various solutions that we've actually ended up providing the people who got displaced as a result of Typhoon Haiyan are not sustainable and not helpful. A lot of people did not want to move away from the communities that were heavily affected. Because, their friends are there, their family is there, the homes that they have, created and built over many years are there. Sure, they are destroyed, but it's still their home. There's a very sentimental aspect to it that arguments about resilience and safety actually can't easily overcome. But the issue was that the Filipino government was very concerned with people who lived 40 meters along the coast, and they called that a no-build zone. And it was very controversial because it was a no-build zone for people who used to live there, but it wasn't a no-build zone for commercial real estate. And we've seen this in other disasters as well, where the people are displaced for their safety and to build resilience, but then hotels and shops and other areas where people don't live come in. Despite the significant devastation that Typhoon Haiyan caused on the people, one of the really strong narratives that came out is one of resilience, of the community surviving, and of this Filipino word called bayanihan, which actually means collective labor, of helping each other out. And there were many stories that were shared of neighbors helping each other find food, sharing shelter, saving lives. At the same time, though, there were other stories of people that stole from their neighbors. People that would go behind their neighbor's back to tell the NGO that was giving out aid that, no, you shouldn't give aid to them. They're actually well off. They don't need it. You should give aid to me. And this kind of darker underbelly of disasters is what we don't really like to talk about, because we don't want to talk about people taking advantage of situations or being bad, right? We want to talk about the heroes. Politicians taking advantage of that narrative to say, you don't need assistance. You have bayanihan. Right? You have your neighbors, you have your network, you have your friends that can help you, right? Filipinos are inherently resilient. No storm can bring them down. They're so strong. while these narratives are very uplifting and hopeful, what they actually contribute to doing is they shift the responsibility away from the state, who was supposed to protect these people, who was supposed to warn these people, and is responsible for making sure it doesn't happen again, right, to the people, to the victims themselves. And I think that's where it becomes a big problem.